Hello there, YouTube. I am Jax Colin, and I'm going to touch on something that I haven't really dedicated a proper video to yet, but something that is in the forefront of pretty much all my political thinking these days, and that is the war in Iraq. The Pentagon either has recently or is about to release a progress report on stability in Iraq. And the hubbub that's coming out of the Pentagon is that the troop surge is working, violence is down in Baghdad. The whole point of this troop surge is to secure Baghdad. If you were trying to take over America, why would you just try to take over New York City? I mean, it's not a fair comparison, but still, even if you were trying to conquer New York State, no, that's not right at all. But all right, let's say for the sake of argument that, okay, yes, the troop surge has worked. Violence is down. The fact is there are a lot less IED explosions, a lot less military casualties and heavy engagements in the Baghdad area. There was one, I think the Neva province, one of the provinces up in the north, attacks are actually at the highest level they've been at. They're also citing that the economy has kind of leveled out a little bit, even though there's still high unemployment. The inflation's down, or inflation's manageable. They're making money from oil. They're not exporting as much as they would like. But of course, since the price of oil is so fucking high these days, they don't need to be producing all that oil to make a shitload of money. Naturally, the economy would settle. All of these bickering Iraqi politicians, they're going to be able to come to agreements based on the money. Because if the money's unstable, how are they going to line their own pockets? So yes, the troop surge is working, attacks are down, and I'll agree that it's a good thing. Is that what we have to do now to maintain security? Keep this elevated troop level indefinitely? This troop surge has made American military personnel Baghdad cops, basically. Lots of people who could be helping out American society are instead in the employ of all these private companies that are part of the military-industrial complex. We are just hemorrhaging our status in the world on all fronts. Politically, militarily, economically. Whoa. That was a light surge. So yeah, the troop surge worked, but now we have to keep this elevated troop level. Great. I have been reading this book. I'm not going to do a book review on it because, as you can see, I've been annotating it quite a bit. So this is probably going to take up a whole series of videos because he talks about basically all aspects. It's about Abu Ghraib, about the incompetence of the intelligence community before 9/11, the war in Afghanistan, and the situation in Iraq, and a lot of the primary players who got us into this whole mess. And it's so funny. Like, this book's actually kind of dated. It came out like 95 or 2005, I think. So a lot of these people that have brought us into this mess have, resigned or been indicted or, basically fallen out of favor or had all their credibility thrown away. Or so I thought, actually. This guy, Ahmed Chalabi, who is a player in the Iraqi National Congress, and they were a group of exiles who supplied the Pentagon with all of their WMD intelligence. Except for them trying to purchase uranium in Africa, which was discovered to be based on a series of forged documents that the people from the International Atomic Energy Agency, or whatever, the IAEA, after the President's State of the Union speech, after he had said this and stated this is a case for us going to war, the IAEA, the Atomic Energy people, who had been asking to see these documents for months, or, for a while, from the Pentagon or the CIA, whichever intelligence agency had them. And of course they were ignored. It got to the president and he said it. They finally get to look at them, and they were able to write them off as complete and really sloppy forgeries with, like, the aid of Google. Basically, there had been a system set up to send information, to send intelligence that said a certain thing that was in line with what the administration wanted to use. There was basically a second channel that was able to fast track those things right on through without, going through the normal fact-checking channels. I mean, there's so much in here that's just really infuriating about how this entire war has just been set up as an excuse for a small percentage of the population to raid the national treasury and just line their own pockets. Do you know what cost plus pricing is? It's when a company gets a contract, also in a manner which is supposedly completely against what the American free market is supposed to be about. Companies that get no bid contracts are allowed to say, when they give their, this is the pricing system that we've agreed to as the citizens of the United States, because the government should be our voice. So we have agreed with these companies that after everything is done, they just send us a bill, they bill us for cost, then they add on their profit afterwards. So this is all afterwards. And there is no incentive for them to try to save any money at all, because the government is automatically going to pick up whatever the fuck they choose to write down, which is what causes trucks to be driven back and forth through dangerous areas in Iraq with nothing on them. I have nothing against the civilian contractors. It's a hell of a tempting opportunity. If you're a truck driver, you can make 5 times as much money if you just go to Iraq and drive a Mack truck around there. You know, I would certainly not judge anybody as greedy for taking on that job. But they should have the faith that their employers are at least trying to look out for their best safety. But you got trucks being driven around flatbed trucks being driven around Baghdad with nothing on them. But the other thing, thanks to that cost plus pricing, the fact that a truck was driven, you know, they still charge it down, even though it was literally of no value. They're still billing us for it, adding on their little profit thing to it. That's just one method with which these companies are just stealing from the American people. They are war profiteers, literally. And that's the thing. I don't even have to say it as a negative thing. They are literally profiting from the activities of a prolonged war. And they are, in fact, losing money when we are not at war. All right, so I have all these annotations here. I'm going to just pick one at random, one of the pink guys, because I think those are the ones that really have a lot of punch to them. Okay, this one, I kind of accidentally found this one. I kind of knew where it was. This is talking about the government that was being set up in Afghanistan after we toppled the Taliban government. This is one of the warlords who was made into like a minister. I don't know, minister or something. Oh, his own defense minister. This was Hamid Karzai was, and I'm sure still is, viewed as incredibly weak and basically a puppet and not tough enough to run Afghanistan. The only reason he has legitimate power is because he's backed by us. That's it. They have no respect for him there. And one of Karzai's many antagonists was his own defense minister, Mohammed Fahim. In 2003, the Bush administration was privately given a memorandum by an Afghan official and American ally warning that Fahim was working to undermine Karzai and would use his control over money from illegal businesses and customs revenue to do so. Fahim was also said to have recruited at least 80,000 men into new militias. Now that is a defense minister. The guy's got his own fucking army. It's just very funny to me that these are the people we're dealing with. They always parade Karzai around there, like, oh, here we got this squeaky clean guy, he loves the United States, he's going to be the president of Afghanistan. But within Afghanistan, he's a joke. And we know about all these other people. And yes, heroin production has spiked dramatically since the war. Because since we wanted to set up a democracy, all these warlords now have free reign of the country. That was one thing about the Taliban. If nothing else, they really cracked down on the opium growers. So now they're passing all kinds of laws to make it quite profitable to grow heroin in Afghanistan. And this is our ally. But hey, if anybody wants to check it out, Chain of Command, Seymour Hersh, lots of good stuff. I'm not even done yet. I'll probably make some more videos about some more compartmentalized aspects of this ridiculously infuriating war. We can't let the popularity drain from it. People have been distracted by all these other political things. This is the most important thing. We have people dying, and America's just bleeding. America's bleeding. I'll see everybody next time.